entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. You are entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. You are entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. Well, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to a new week, all that good stuff. I am so glad to see you guys back yet again to another podcast, Creative Conversations with Dr. C. Today's conversation, yeah, a well-needed conversation, a conversation that should have been happening a long time ago. So today's conversation is really a state of emergency, gun violence, the changing and the dynamics of our family tree. What a way to start the week off. What a way to kind of really talk about what's going on in this world today. We need to start talking about it because our generation needs to hear it. We are losing too many of our loved ones to gun violence. So today's conversation is about how do we change that dynamics? How do we change the leaves from actually dismissing from our family tree? How do we change that? What do we do? So today's guest that I'm going to be bringing on is Mr. Dae Merritt, Mr. Dae Merritt. Mr. Merritt has a lot to talk about, and I'm grateful that he's able to come out and talk to us about what's going on, what he sees is the problem, and how do we actually rectify it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on so we can go ahead and get started with this conversation. Well, hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully well. So I was letting the audience know that today's conversation is a well-needed conversation, a conversation that we should have been having a long time ago. The state of emergency that we're in, an emergency that's dealing with gun violence. I had the opportunity to kind of do some research when we talked about this conversation, about this well-needed conversation not too long ago. And I said, let me pull some numbers, which is astounding. It's just beyond craziness that we're seeing these numbers, and they're growing and growing every year. So I pulled some numbers a couple days ago, and it was talking about over the years, we've seen, of course, a lot of school violence, a lot of school shootings. And so what I pulled was since 2008, there has been a total of 625 shootings. And those shootings have occurred with just not college campuses, but K through 12. And so just along, we're in March, right? So this is the end of March. The statistics shows as of March 16th of this year, we've had a total of 16 shootings already. And we just barely are into 2024. So I wanted to start that off with that conversation, with those statistics, and try to figure out, where do we go from here? What do we need to do to change the dynamics of our family tree? We're losing leaves every day. It's not just men, it's women, it's children, it's all of us are leaving this earth due to gun violence. So I'm going to stop talking and allow you, Mr. Merritt, to kind of give us your take on this topic.
And I just want to let you know, like, to be honest, there is no cure or try to stop what's going on. We already too deep into the fire. So people that been through like the struggle and understand what's going on out there, like you can never erase what can't be undone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that pain is a different type of level of trying to just turn the other cheek. You see what I'm saying? And these days and times, a lot of people is just looking for somebody to show them how to do the things the right way. You see what I'm saying? Instead of just showing them of everybody acting off of emotions. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody acting off a lot of emotions. 9 out of 10 households, it's probably like a single parent, you know what I'm saying? I grew up with my mom, so a lot of decisions and stuff, you see it from a woman point of view. And women are, emotional creatures, so they tackle their problems at emotional angles. Not all the time, but majority of the time they tackle their problems at emotional angles. Where like a man, you know what I mean, he learned how to put his problems, like his emotions to the side, and really be able to communicate and get some understanding and rectify what's going on. So that's like one of the key issues through a lot of things that go on for this gun violence. It's no communication.
Mm-hmm. So
It's trying to prove it.
you said, so you're saying communication is the key to a lot of this, what's going on. So when you say communication, what are we saying? What do we need? What kind of conversation should we be having with our children?
Oh, with your children, man, you got to pay attention. Cause you got to really pay attention to your children. Your children is like, can't nobody say nothing bad about your children. You ain't gonna believe it, cause that's your child. You see what I'm saying? But what your child do when you ain't looking? So you can say, we can sit here and talk till we blue in the face, but your actions speak louder than words. But if you a parent that's always at work and got to do what you got to do to make sure y'all get these bills paid, you feel what I'm saying? You ain't paying too much attention to your kids. You either sending them off somewhere to go be with their parents, to be with their cousins, or put them in daycares. You're not really paying attention. So when they around you, that's your little joy. You know what I'm saying? That's your little joy. So you're not paying attention. So if you pay attention and really see, okay, when he go around here, his pants sagging this way, or he get to moving this way, or what's going on with this? You feel what I'm saying? When he come in here, he's straightening up. You got to pay attention to your kids. You know what I mean? Really sit and pay attention these days. Everybody got to just sit and just calm down. Everybody moving 100 miles an hour. You got to pay attention.
So what I'm hearing is it's a level of communication that needs to happen. And what else do you think we need to do as it relates to, you said there's really no cure. So if there's no cure, what's the conversation should we be having if there's no cure?
The conversations you need to be having is it's like the healing process.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got to respect what's gonna happen, because people ain't graduating in life to handle their problems a different angle. All they know is just one way, just like Kevin Gates said. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna respect what they got going on, but when they healing process, where you able to show them how to change and this how you should have did it. You see what I'm saying? And this how this supposed to went, and this, you know what I mean, and make them listen to you. You feel what I'm saying? But far as the cure go, like the young boys, or don't nobody really care what a person really talking about for real, unless you know what I mean? They don't really care for real. You saying some stop the violence and doing all this. How you gonna tell somebody to stop the violence when your brother just got killed the other day?
Yeah, I can see that piece of it, but in the same token, we have to look at the big picture. I understand you. I get it. I've been a part of the gun violence. My brother was actually shot and killed in his home in front of his 6-year-old son, and we still don't know who was the killer. I understand that piece of it, but there should be some solution to the fact that we can't say that it's no solution, because should be some solution. I think a lot of times is a lot of it has to, you said, as you said, emotion. It does. It plays off emotions. No, I can't tell somebody to not feel a certain way if they've lost their loved one. I got it. But at some point in time, we have to find some ways to move the needle to say that we have to start healing. So in healing, I think a lot of times is, and I've been on plenty of platforms about mental health for men. Men don't want to actually sit back and say that they need the help, because in a Black household, it's the stigma that says that what happens in a household stays in a household. That's something that we need to change the narrative of that. So I think that's one of the pieces that we can start looking at. Yes, I'm not never taken away, because grief comes in all forms, all shapes and forms. Grief don't have has no expiration. Got it. But I do agree with you that there needs to be more conversation at the table. We have moved away from sitting down and having conversations with our children. Yes, I understand. I'm a single mom with 2 boys. And matter of fact, you probably was at my table many a days eating around my table. So I understand that.
Facts.
Um, right. So I understand that. But in the same token, we still need to pull back. Even if we say we've lost a generation and maybe in you, but we have new more children that are coming behind you, so we have to show them a different way. I mean, I don't want to put words out there, but I'm just speaking from my point of view. I know what it's like to be a single mom, having to make sure I had to take care of the bills, make sure that the license stuff stayed on. I understood that. But one thing I do know is that I always made sure that my kids knew I was accessible, that they knew that we had to have a conversation. We talked. Yeah, don't get me twisted or get it twisted. Oh, I have one that grew up with you. And it was many days I'm like, what you doing? You know, at 5'2.5", 5'3", I got in his face and said, "Hey, this is my tough love to you. This is what I'm expecting of you. Now, if you go out here and do X, Y, and Z, that's on you, because I've already instilled in you what is right, right?" And the big picture of that too is the fact that people take that. I'm from the ghetto and I'm gonna have the mentality of somebody living in the ghetto. No, that's your surroundings. That's your surroundings. They don't have anything to do with what's been planted into you from your parents or those around you. Because a lot of times we have family that ain't even our family, that ain't blood. You know what I'm saying? That's raising us. So I understand that piece. So would you agree that there's a need for a lot more conversation when it comes to stop telling our boys that don't cry, suck it up, and what do
Okay,
you?
can you repeat the question again? The phone's breaking up.
I said, would you agree that we have to have a better conversation with our younger, not just our boys, but our girls too, but mostly our boys, because what has been instilled in our young male is that it's not okay to cry. So do you agree that that narrative needs to be changed as it relates to our young boys? Because they do need to cry, because if they don't cry, what's going to happen? They're going to blow up. So what's your take on the fact about that, about teaching our boys something different about showing their emotions?
I had to learn from being incarcerated, from other grown men that been down. When I say been down, meaning they've been doing time for like since the 90s. I was born 92, so they've been doing time, you know what I mean? 91, like, you know what I mean? So they the ones showed me how to move. And I actually seen grown men, they killers. These really killers, real robbers or whatever. Like, they ain't never coming home, like, really break down and shed tears. You know what I'm saying? They ain't never told on nobody. They ain't never become because they ain't never become no homosexual. You see what I'm saying? They stayed straight. You know what I mean? People get a bad stigma about males coming from the penitentiary. But anyway, so it's a time and place for a male to be crying. You know what I'm saying? When you raising a man, some women you can teach the man so much, but it's only so much a woman can change. I mean, really install it to be on the man. So it's a time and place to cry. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just just be a time and place to cry, because when a man weak, he been holding in for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So he really need the week to get it out of his system so he can heal. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a time and place. You don't want no man when he running around here crying and acting feminine. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, to each his own, don't get me wrong, but it's a time and place for everything. And there's nothing wrong with crying. If anybody told you that was a lie. You feel what I'm saying? It's like them super tough guys and super tough people, like, they ain't nothing wrong with crying, but it's a time and place for everything though.
Okay. I agree. There is a time and a place for everything, but I was born in whatever year. I got some years. But
Ain't nothing wrong with that. You a queen.
Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. You, sir, are a king, and you have to remember, you have to stand in that notion that you are a king. A lot of times we forget that we come from royalty, that we were bred from royalty, and that we need to stand on our ancestors. We stand on our ancestors' shoulders from royalty. So we built this country. So we have to remember that, we are royalty, and we need to act accordingly. So I would agree that there is a time and a place for everything. There's a time and place for, like you said, for everything. And so I just want people to understand that we need to, first off, to change that myth. And I'm glad that you did say that it's okay to cry, because a lot of people, as you say, OGs, they ain't cried a tear. And guess what? They got more problems than a little bit. Heart attacks, kidney problems, everything. So, because just releasing those emotions does so much, does something for you. It's just a release, like a letting the air out of a balloon,
Yeah.
It feels good. And I do agree, that we need to make some changes in what we do and how we say things, right? But the other piece to that is, as I mentioned, I've said on several podcasts and in-person mental health conversations. And one of the things that I found is that when we talk about this mental health and about all this stuff that's going on in our community, because guess what? It's happening in our community. It's happening every day, of every second of the day. The big thing is that we need to, like you say, sit our boys down and have the conversation about what's going on, because a lot of times things are going on and they won't share. So this question that I have for you is, if you were to go back, your younger self, let's say 10, 12 years old, what would you tell your younger self now at, what, you 32, 32, 33?
I'll be 32 this year. Yeah.
32.
Nah, I'll be 32 this year.
32. What would you tell your younger self, that 11 and 12-year-old, when you felt as if your back was against the wall, you had somebody that was bothering you, and you just didn't know what to do? What would you say that to that 11 and 12-year-old?
Well, Dr. C, I got to go back to a question before we get to that question.
Okay.
And the question was about mental health.
Yes.
And my thing is, everybody shut the door. My thing is, with mental health is, like, giving people medicine is not the cure to mental health.
That's true. That is true. I agree.
You see what I'm saying? And then, like, you go to your psychiatrist. Once again, they got degrees and everything they supposed to have to be a psychiatrist, right? So how that person gonna tell you how to feel, what to feel, what type of prescriptions they supposed to be on, if he never been in the situation you supposed to be on? I mean, he never been in a situation that you've been through. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Prime example. All right. When I got incarcerated, before I got incarcerated, I went to see a psychiatrist. You know what I mean? I was having anger issues or whatever it be the cause. You know what I'm saying? So he was trying to make me be on some type of drugs. Like, I didn't want to be on his type of prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. I told him when I smoke weed, it made me calm. At the time, weed won't legalize, so he was getting mad. Like, nah, Mr. Merritt, you got to do these type. I said, I don't know them type of prescriptions that you're trying to put me on. You feel what I'm saying? I know when I do this, I be calm. You know what I'm saying? And then he kept trying to tell me about what I should do, but not listening to me. So I told me and my mom to walk out, so we walked out. So I felt like that situation put a bad stigma about therapy with me. So, but make a long story short, though, I feel like the doctors and things these days and times, they not really just listening to they'll listen to you for a certain amount of hours, but they just prescribe you different prescriptions just to make you a zombie.
Mhm. And I can agree with that. The thing about it is, I always tell anybody that'll listen, it's up to you to do your research. Don't allow, even though that they have degrees behind their names or whatever, great. But you are your own person. You have to take accountability for you. So you stood up for yourself to say, hey, look, I don't know what you're trying to give me. I don't know all all this addition, different types of medication you're trying to give me. I'm not about that. I'm telling you that this natural herb, as y'all call natural herb, this weed, it calms me, right? And guess what? It does for people. You know what I'm saying? It does. And now it is legalized, right? So what I will say to that is that you are your own cheerleader. You have to be able, and that's for anybody. You are your own cheerleader. You have to make the determination as to what's in the best interest for you. Now, is there people out here that need medication? Oh, definitely, definitely. There's people out here who need medication. Yes, there is. And there's no weed in the world that's going, show. I'll get that, but I am a full. I'm going to say, therapy does work. It does work. It allows you to be able to speak to somebody who has no skin in the game, if that makes sense. They don't have skin in the game. They're just listening to you because they want to see what they can do or provide information that can help you. Now, is there some therapists that's out here that have never gone, ain't never seen ain't cried, and don't know what nothing is? I would beg to differ, because how do you operate? You have to have gone, if you've been in a business for a period of time. You can't tell me you haven't lost nobody. You can't tell me that things it's all peaches and creams, because it's not. It's just not. That's not how life is. But I do agree with the fact that people need to take ownership of their own life and how they're living it, and so kudos to you for this, saying, no, I'm not getting on this. Let me do this. So, but like I said, to each his own. Everybody's gonna have an opinion. That's why we call it diversity. Everybody ain't gonna have the same opinion that you might have, and everybody might not agree. But like I said, kudos to you for being able to be a spokesman for yourself. So, as it relates to the question about the U.S. as a 12-year-old, how do you speak to that? Now that we talked about the mental health piece, are you finished with the speaking on that piece of it, or did you want to add
Yes,
some?
man.
You good?
Nah, yes, man. I'm done. Yeah.
So so now that we're putting you back at 12, what would you do differently, or what would have hoped somebody would have said to you at 11 and 12 years old?
Study the law first of all. You listen to everything your people saying about the law first of all. Save your money, cause it's gonna be rainy days, cold nights. Save your money.
Mhm.
And I would have started stalling to him early. The key to financial hardship. The key to financial hardship is do not live above your means. So you got to be really disciplined when you're really trying to get somewhere in life. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I give it to him. You know what I'm saying? But I learned when I'm 12, if you telling me, it got to be depends on who telling me. If you was telling me, I'm going to listen. My mom telling me, I'm going to listen. But another person I feel like that's not what they talking about, I wouldn't listen to them. You see what I'm saying? So like if I like this question, because if I would have listened to myself, because I know what I've been through in life. You see what I'm saying? And I know how to do stuff, when and where and why, and certain things is not that serious. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that, like, I realized this too, like, God is not gonna put nothing on you that you can't handle. But a rapper that I would listen to right before I came home named Joel Santana, he say, but sometimes people put themselves in situations that they can't handle. And it stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So some of them lessons and jewels right then and there, and them sayings that you supposed to start stalling into that, and just lead by example with actions, and never leave for real.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, I agree, and thank you for saying that you listen to me. Because there was not just the conversations that I've had with you with my sons, and having those long night conversations, and just trying to figure out where your head is, and always letting you know that you had the support and you had somebody that was rooting for you. And so I think a lot of times allowing people to be able to come to somebody, without any premonitions of you gonna just say, I told you so. A lot of times that's where a lot of our children go left, is because they don't want to hear you say, I told you so. But as mothers, we have to kind of let go sometimes too, because we hold on too tight. And again, I would agree that we as women, we cannot um give you the resources that a man can give you. We can give you what we know, but we can't give you the key to being a true man. And I get that. And so I will say that at the end of the day, it's just being able to take the time and think. I always say all the time, think before you do, or think before you leap. Because when you leap, you can't turn back around. You already off the ledge now. So either you gonna fly and float down, or you gonna get right back and hit the ground. So it's always about thinking. So do you think now as you look back over your life, the lessons that you've learned now, um what are those lessons, and how are you moving forward to make a difference now?
Them lessons. First of all, my mom, man, Dae Merritt, man. You know what I'm saying? If she told me everything that was gonna happen to me. If I choose this way, this gonna happen to you. If I choose this way, this gonna happen to you. Like,
Mhm.
she kept it with me raw. She did the best she can do all the way till I was 18. You know what I'm saying? And you was there. You see what I'm saying? So y'all did the best y'all can do with me, or my brother. I call as your son. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Y'all did the best we can do. So, like, I just want to give thanks to the independent black queens as yourself and my mom, and a couple of my other homeboys, black queen mamas, for doing it independently. Y'all really did the best thing. Y'all did the best y'all can do. You feel what I'm saying? And I just really want to give y'all appreciation. You know what I'm saying? People don't give respect to the black queens. People don't give respect to the fathers that's really there. You know what I'm saying? Or the elderly no more. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give thanks to a person that was in the streets, got locked up, didn't tell, didn't let nobody do nothing to me at their time, stood up every time. You see what I'm saying? Won't that nobody never take nothing from me. You know what I'm saying? Never became a homosexual. You feel what I'm saying? Never, none of that. You know what I mean? Still, you know what I mean? Never. You feel what I'm saying? And I just want to respect y'all. You know what I mean? Give y'all my appreciations, as y'all call it now, and it's giving y'all flowers now. You, my mama, everybody else, the queens that's really in the community, that's really sticking behind their kids and trying to do all they can. I just want to get that appreciation first. Now, I lost question. I lost the other answer of the other question of the thing. I had it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I was saying, what are you doing now? What is your plan now? What are you looking to do differently now? Because I know you have a little one.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing? What are you going to do different now, um, to instill in him as your mama tried to instill in you? What are you going to teach him now? Because now he's looking at dad. What are you going to give him? Because that's your legacy.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach him. I'm gonna teach him the right things.
Hmm.
I'm gonna show him the right things, and I'm gonna show him ways to survive the legal way. I'm showing the, you know what I mean, ways to survive the legal way, so he wouldn't have to go through the things and pain that I went through. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because it's really about generational wealth. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And if I fall victim to the masses or the statistics of another black man dying in the streets because of money situations, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna get into all that, but
Hmm.
my whole purpose on this earth will be for nothing. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? It will be for nothing because the next man that will be with your baby mama or the mother of your child, is what words you put it. He not gonna give him the same knowledge and game that you gonna give him.
Or love.
The love. He gonna get him just as much. He gonna get him stepson love. But versus his real son love, it's not gonna be the same, man. You know what I'm saying? So I got to show him actions, how to save the money. Go
Hmm.
do this, go do that. This is why you do this. This is why you got to keep going to school so you can get this certain degree so you can be in this certain the field. Or you want to learn about law, well, this what you got to go do, X, Y, and Z. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to be with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to lead you the right way. You know what I mean? And basically, that's it, though, for real.
And I when we first spoke, and I've spoken to you many, 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 many times, and many, many, many prayers. And when we first talked, when you came home, I was so, just first off, grateful
Yeah.
that you made it home, but also just so grateful that in that time, as we say, sitting down, you had the opportunity to learn something different, to bring some skills sets home that is going to be different for you, which I'm just so grateful for that, because I see a difference in you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, a true difference. And of course, we know it's a difference because the years have passed, but I saw a difference in the way you spoke. When you asked me to come on this podcast and you came up with this topic, I was like, wow, like, okay, all right. This is what I'm talking about. I want you to continue to have the momentum. Don't stop. Keep moving. Keep moving. Because as I always say on all the platforms that I have been on, 2024 is not the year to be stagnant. You don't have no reason to be stagnant. It's time to keep moving. As long as you got breath in your body and able to get up with the sound mind, you have opportunity to do something different. So
Facts.
I preach all day long. You be telling me, Mom, be quiet. But I didn't
Yeah.
stop talking. So I want you to continue to elevate yourself to the next level. Don't be the statistic. Don't be that person that says, okay, yep, I did X, Y, and Z. I don't know how to cope with this. Yeah. If you surround yourself with the people that is going to elevate you and push you to the next level, then guess what? Greatness is already in you. Your mama didn't birth no dummy. And I showed
Facts.
you didn't come out my womb, but I ain't birthed no dummies either. So
Yeah.
um, but I say that to say I'm truly proud of what I'm seeing, and it's always constant communication with you, and constant telling you what I see, and I don't sugarcoat none. The kids tell me they told me the other day, I don't know what happened to my mama. She don't change. No, I'm living life, and I'm as they say, spitting the truth.
Yeah.
So, but I was spitting the truth. It's just a different way of doing it now. So my angle now is to ensure that that those who are in need of a platform to have a conversation, you're more than welcome to come here and have that conversation. I just want you to know that thank you for my flowers. Thank you for my Thank you for just shouting out those queens that are out here doing it independently, as you said. And there are men out here that are great fathers, but there's some women out here who don't want men to be great fathers. They want to continue to hold on to something that is not there any longer. So, um, kudos to you.
No, that was my brother
Kudos
playing.
to you.
The nada.
That was Batman.
Keep moving and keep elevating yourself to the next level. And I always tell people, don't let your environment dictate who you are. Because if greatness is in you, it's going to come out regardless of what environment you're in.
Facts.
Right. So, with that being said, what do you want to leave the audience with? What do you, in your parting words, what do you want the audience to know about Dae Merritt?
Whatever, man. Like, don't judge me, man. You know what I'm saying? Only God can judge me. You know what I'm saying? I won't judge y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 9-time felon, 27 years over my head, on a lot of different probation that I ain't trying to speak of with everything. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm a different creature. I'm a different breed. I know the purpose in life. I know the meaning of time. I come back. Now people don't even look the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta cherish time. You gotta cherish the people that really love you. Cause that word loyalty, it can be bought. That word love, it can be fabricated so many ways. But their actions are showing you that love. Or the actions are showing you loyalty when you way in a different state or a different country. You still on good terms, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's it, for real. And I want y'all to go listen to my music.
Okay. Okay. So tell us about your music. What's going on with the music?
Okay, man. My rap name is Killer Dae, man. That's KILLAH space DAE. And my music is more so like a lot of pain. I'd have been through a lot in these last 9 years, and before that, it was probably about a good 10 years when a nigga jumped off the porch for real. So I didn't. This music is a lot of pain. You might have some of them songs you might cut. You gotta go get you something to eat at the store and it's raining or something. Like, you don't really want to go outside. You know what I'm saying? Soon you hop in that car, you cut me on. And when you riding down the street, you gonna feel every word that I said. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't been through that, you gonna still feel it because the emotion and the hunger that I got to give to these people from all these times and pain and suffering I had to go through. But, you can look me up on all the platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. That's Killer Dae, you know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, I don't know no Killer Dae. That ain't. I don't know no Killer Dae. All I know is I ain't gonna say your government name, as y'all tell me. Don't say your government name. I know who the government name belongs to. So, but I'm proud of you, and I see nothing but greatness. And I say that to you every time I get the opportunity. You still my baby from another mama. I still love you just like you my own, and I'm still gonna step down on your neck when you wrong, because that's
Ain't
what I
nothing
do.
wrong with it.
But I truly am grateful for you coming on the platform and just sharing your pain, your purpose, and what's driving you, and what is going to look different going forward. So as I leave away from here and close out this podcast, I want to continue to stand in your purpose. Continue to understand that you have to affirm who you are in this world because you belong here. You have room at the table. Sometimes the table might be too full. So that doesn't mean that you can't create a table for yourself. So continue to stand in your purpose, continue to love yourself, continue to understand that it's only you. It's only one blueprint for you and me. So continue to stand in that purpose. Continue to understand that each day that you are given by the Lord above, make it work for you. Do what you got to do. Continue to operate in a way that He is pleased with what you're doing. But in saying and in pardon, continue to love yourself. Continue to do what you need to do. And until next time, we're going to put this one to bed. Good night. God bless, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Peace.
Peace.